This is Appetite for Distortion.
Welcome to the podcast, Appetite for Distortion, episode number 365. Discovering you, Christian Carson. How are you? How are you, sir?
Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good. I like to hear all the stories, so that's cool.
Right on. So well, I feel like I know you a little bit. You're kind of almost a stone's throw away. Where in New Jersey are you?
I'm actually currently staying in like the Toms River area, so not too from like Seaside and the shore and all that stuff. I have some family that lives over in this area, and I've actually bounced quite a bit back and forth from here in LA on the West Coast. So I went to Musicians Institute out there for a while. A lot of us guys, we use kind of Musicians Institute as a to like, when you're coming up and stuff, and you need some kind of an excuse to get to LA, a school like a music school is a good reason to go and meet members and meet other people to form your band. So that's kind of what I did right out of high school, and been back and forth and have kind of a love-hate relationship with the West Coast, and done some great stuff out there, and found myself back here recently. And I quite often though we'll bounce back and forth depending on whatever's currently happening project wise, but kind of use that school as a reason to get out there and meet a lot of new players and musicians, and just get my contacts a little bit more up there. And it definitely helped. It definitely helped my situation, and kind of been on a journey ever since. So, and even before, I've been playing guitar and singing and stuff since I was around 8-9 years old. So,
oh, wow.
I've been doing this for my whole life,
Right on. And I think it's showing. And what's interesting, because you've been doing this your whole life, and one of the reasons why you're on here today is your debut solo album, because you've made a lot of music with a lot of people, and of course your band Commonwealth, for people in my area that I'm sure, because you're do you want to call yourself local legends in New Jersey? Is that too much?
Whatever. Hey man, we've heard all kinds of titles, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But whatever you want to call us. But yeah, we're definitely from this area. I mean, most of the band is from New Jersey, so, and from the Toms River area. So you could say that. Then
how did you meet it's funny, my very first interview ever professionally, Bumblefoot, who just I felt a kinship because he's also from Brooklyn. That's where I was born. He's Jewish. Right. It made me, I was like, oh, this is a Jewish rock star. Cool, man. In Guns N' Roses. So he produced, or he's actually on many tracks, played guitar in tracks. Kind of tell us about meeting him and his involvement in your new album. And it's hashtag vice versa, by the way, not to cut you off, or is it just vice versa?
I'm sorry, what'd you say? What's that?
The debut solo album, is it hashtag vice versa? Is that how we're saying it?
Oh, it's just vice versa, but we do use the hashtag vice versa for all the social medias. You know how that goes, all the social media sites or whatever, just to find anything. If anybody looks up, anything, hashtag vice versa, it'll come up, but just vice versa.
Okay, because that's how it was written in the email. Okay, so then...
Oh, okay, yeah, Amy probably sent it to you like that, yeah.
Gotcha. So then clear up the email, Max. And then I want to know about your Bumblefoot's involvement, because he did some engineering, producing, guitar. How did you meet, how did a New Jersey guy meet the Brooklyn guy?
Well, I got to say, man, it's a pretty cool story. Let me see where, how it all really started. When I formed Commonwealth, we would always I had some mutual friends with Bumble. So like Mike Orlando of Adrenaline Mob.
Oh.
Couple other guys, JD from Black Label Society, who's also featured on the new album. So I had a couple mutual friends with Bumble. And at the time I was working with Mike Orlando in the studio, actually working out some of the demos and some tracks for what became this album. And Mike had to go on tour with Nocturnal, which is another band that he has with Mike Portnoy. Is Billy Sheehan in that band? Actually, no, not Billy Sheehan, but it's Mike Portnoy and a couple other great musicians. The whole band is incredible. but they were going on tour in South America. So
the Sons
we
of
had
Apollo?
to kind of,
Sons of Apollo, that band?
that's Bumble's band with Portnoy also, who's in Portnoy's in a lot of different projects. But
wow,
okay, and it's funny. We'll end up mentioning. I'll end up bringing up Sons of Apollo probably as well. But at the time, I was working with Mike Orlando, and he was leaving for tour with Nocturnal. So we had to kind of cut our sessions a little bit short. And when we started tossing around names to say, who I should maybe go finish this up with, and who would be really great, where Bumble came up, and he is such a great guy, man, and just such probably one of, if not, I'd say definitely one of, if not the nicest guy in this business. He's just a great, great guy. Of course, an amazing musician, but as a person, you'll really never hear anybody say anything bad about the guy. Such a good dude, and he really, really, really kind of like took me under his wing and helped me with this album, which I couldn't be, more honored and humbled to have him and be a part of it. I mean, I also, grew up a Guns N' Roses fan, of course, and I was a fan of a lot of Bumble's solo stuff as well, and his work with some of the Chinese Democracy, like Era and stuff. I mean, it's so cool to be able to bring those things up to him and ask him about those times when we're in those sessions, because I'm such a fan as well, But his name got brought up, and between me and Mike Orlando, and I was in contact with Bumble through like email, and we'd hit each other up once in a while, send him like the latest Commonwealth video and stuff, and he'd always give me some cool feedback on it. And when I brought up, doing the album with him, he happened to be open and off the road for a little while. So I jumped in the studio with him, and yeah, man, he's on multiple tracks on the record, playing guitar, and he also, engineered the whole album, and he really did help me produce a lot of the material too. So he's wearing multiple hats, on vice versa. And like I said, dude, I just couldn't be more honored to have him, as a part of it all the way around. So really, really cool. Really cool.
It is. It's kind of like your own personal Chinese Democracy in a way, but it's coming out.
in a way. And it's funny because it kind of took me like a decent amount of time to do it. Not anything near democracy time, but with the pandemic and stuff, like smack dab in the middle of when this was kind of going on, it definitely made things a little bit more difficult at times. But we got through it, and Bumble in the studio that we use really not too far from where I am currently in Jersey, so it worked out that way as well. And I'm just, like I said, man, I'm just honored to have him on it. It's definitely really cool, and being a fan myself, it's one of those things sometimes where you're like, man, is this really kind of a pinch yourself?